It's a significant victory in that a 27-year-old case involving Baba Charan Singh, who was illegally picked up and murdered, along with his three brothers, his brother-in-law, and his nephew. So six members of one family who were picked up between April 1992 to 1993. So a period of 10 months in which every 2 or 3 months a family member was picked up, disappeared, kept in illegal custody, tortured and murdered. So after 27 long years and a long struggle that this family fought, Bibi Sarjeet Kaur, who was Baba Charan Singh's wife, had filed a writ petition in the High Court. There were many attempts made from back in 93, 94, all the way up till 2019, we can say, of the family being pressured, threatened, all attempts being made to make sure that they didn't depose, but they deposed fearlessly, and 6 officers were convicted. But the tragedy in this case is two things. One is during the course of this case, 25 witnesses died. So the strategy that the Punjab Police deploy in these cases is to delay these cases as much as possible. So crucial eyewitnesses died. And originally there were 16 police officers charge sheeted. 6 died during the course of the trial, and 6 were convicted, and then we had 3 that were acquitted. The honest answer to that is it has to be yes, that's true statement. Because why should some family have to suffer 27 years? For them, they said, look, one suffering for us is that we had to lose our family members. In this particular case, the Punjab Police have never said what happened to the dead bodies. So they misled the court. When the victim families went to the local police station, they wouldn't file the FIR. And it's taken 27 years to prove that these people had been murdered. And even the last kind of religious ceremonies that somebody would say for the departed soul, at least for a mother to see her husband or son or have some closure, even this was denied to them. So even after 27 years, and they've not been given a single penny in compensation. And on the other side, these police officers have not spent even an hour interrogation. The CBI never summoned them, to interrogate them. They had their full pension, perks. They've gone throughout their whole careers without even a single blot on their career record. And on the other side, these families have had to suffer. See, there's two things here. One is the judicial system is slow anyway. But if you look at all of these encounter cases, if you look at the Punjab cases, Kashmir cases, Manipur, Chhattisgarh, anywhere the state agencies or police officers are charge sheeted, these cases even take longer than normal criminal cases. And if you look at these Punjab fake encounter cases, they relate from 91, 92, 93 mainly, and some of them haven't even reached conclusion of the trials yet. If you compare this even with the Gujarat cases, so what happened during 2002, the majority of those cases have actually even been concluded and the appeals are pending in the High Court or the Supreme Court. So what we can say is in these particular cases, the Punjab Police have used every single means possible. They argued these completely, unsupported, legally unsustainable applications that when a police officer is charge sheeted, you need the sanction from the central government. The central government gave sanction in these cases that they should be prosecuted. They challenged this in the High Court. The matter was stayed, for at least 8 years, and then another 8 years in the Supreme Court, then another 4 years after that. So one improvement that needs to be made in cases of murder involving police officers who are accused of fake encounters, these should be fast-tracked trials. They can be heard on a day-to-day. The blame actually lies to some extent in judicial management of these cases, because countless applications are filed for cases to be heard on a priority basis. And in cases of rape and murder and serious cases, even terrorism cases, there should be a special category that the most heinous cases must be heard, because as we know, in rape cases, there's also a big movement in India now that why are these cases taking long? So judicial management of these cases, and they should be time bound. In this particular case, The accused made their fifth attempt to have the case stayed in the Supreme Court. And we are very grateful to the particular bench in the Supreme Court that not only rejected this, but they directed that the CBI judge had to conclude this case within 8 months. And from May to November, all of the witnesses gave evidence. And actually, this case shows even after 27 years, if cases are time bound, then convictions can happen. Any precedent where we give the police the power to murder people is a very dangerous. Punjab, we have our case that's filed in the Supreme Court. There were 8,257 people that were disappeared and murdered brutally in cold blood. And these cases are showing, in Baba Charan Singh case and others, that none of these people had even a single police complaint, let alone an FIR registered against them. That these cases were people were murdered for greed, for promotion, to fill quotas, where they were pretending that people were militants, and all these things are being exposed. It's the job of the police to only investigate and put together a charge sheet, and it's for a judge and a court to look at the facts and decide who is guilty and who is innocent. And if someone commits a heinous crime, then obviously the death penalty, but then there's all these judicial processes. If we allow things like the Hyderabad incident to happen, and Punjab has suffered from this incredibly, then you're saying that the court system is completely inadequate. It's the biggest slap on the face of the judiciary, and then you're making the police officers judge, jury, and executioner. In fact, if you look at the facts of the Hyderabad case, they're exactly identical. We've got 1,400 FIRs in the Punjab disappeared cases, where the Punjab police would say they took the arrested person for recovery of arms, and then all of a sudden the person tried to run away. They broke free, and then they were shot dead, either by militants, unknown militants, or they were shot themselves. And when I read the facts of the Hyderabad case, it sent a chill down my spine, because I thought there must be some kind of blueprint, for encountering people, because the words, the terminology are completely copy-pasted in terms of any one of our cases. And the questions obviously arise: how could somebody run away who's unarmed, where you've got armed police officers taking somebody in broad daylight? So this sets a very dangerous precedent. The way forward now is, of 44 cases, the first 5 cases have all resulted in convictions. The first one was CBI Raghbir Singh, which was a fake encounter case where life sentences were given. CBI versus Narendra Malli was another abduction murder case where life sentence was given. CBI Jaspal Singh, CBI Joginder Singh, and now CBI Subha Singh and others. In every single case where there's been evidence and a judgment, the judgment has always found that these police officers were responsible, even if we say the sentences were less. So there's a good precedent now that's been set. There are another 40 cases that are still going on at various stages, but we're optimistic that in these CBI cases, within a year or two, there should be another round of successful convictions. Our main case, I think when we last spoke, we were discussing the 8,000 cases. So we petitioned that matter to the Supreme Court in September of last year. So the Supreme Court said, because this is related to Punjab, the matter should go back before the Punjab and Haryana High Court. So in December, we re-petitioned the Punjab and Haryana High Court. The first hearing has happened and the second hearing. So our main objective with all these cases is that there needs to be an independent commission, which has always been the demand for the last 25, 30 years, that these fake encounters that happen, people need justice, they need rehabilitation, they need compensation. And there's, literally thousands of other cases that need to be prosecuted. So what we're saying is, with a lot of effort, we can show that the system can deliver to some extent, which is why we're saying that it's in the hands of the court to direct a special agency like the CBI to look at all of the material. Looking at the present situation in India, everybody's looking up to the judiciary to say, look, you have to enforce the rule of law, you have to uphold the constitution, and if you don't do that, then India is looking at a lawless situation. So it's absolutely essential these cases are brought, justice is given, and if anyone's committed these crimes, they have to be punished.